Hey, this is Al Heilman. Thanks for stopping by this video. Today I'm going to talk about cutting larger Murrine glass on a wet tile saw. I define larger glass as that's more than about 4 millimeters to 5 millimeters in diameter. Especially if I'm going to stack this glass, I need to get it parallel so that it'll stack evenly. I use a wet tile saw. One pull from my caldera kiln in one of my containers will give me at least a pound of Murrine glass, which will work for several different drop ring bowls. So how do we do this? Well, first thing we need to do is turn on our tile saw. Safety is the most important thing. Secondly, keeping dry. And third, having some fun. So I wear nitrile gloves to protect my fingers from any glass shards. And I wear an apron. I have nothing loose on me that could wrap around the saw blade. The typical blade that comes with a tile saw from the manufacturer will not work well cutting glass. You need a blade designed to cut glass that is much finer than the typical tile saw blade. What you see here is that we're using a gauge on the tile saw to run our glass against. I hold it with one finger so that we can easily cut through this. The tile saw will not cut your fingers, but will cut a ring or will cut through a fingernail. So you've got to be careful to keep them away from the tile saw or any loose objects. It's always fun to look inside when you're cutting Murrine because you never know what pattern you're going to get depending on where it is in the pull. So, as we're cutting this, it becomes almost meditative as well as a surprise. I take several breaks when I cut it. You can see the different patterns we get depending on where it is in the pull that we have cut. Then I take these pieces that I have cut and I stack them vertically in patterns. I fuse these into a blank. You can see these blanks are set up to fuse. I use either a stainless steel ring or dams to hold their height. This is about 5/8 of an inch of final fusing height of glass. The glass originally is cut to 3/4 of an inch. You get a little shrinkage. So as we go through this, again, we're trying to keep everything safe. I take multiple breaks as I go through this, just trying to cut for an hour and a half straight to cut all the glass from a single pull. It's a long task, and you just need to stay fresh. The tile saw works beautiful for this, but when you cut this many different cuts, you generate a great deal of glass, dust, and materials. So some of those pieces will fall down into the slots of the tile sled. So you need to clean those out. I use a little pick I use for hot glass. You get lots of little pieces and cut-offs. I don't throw those away. I use those as pieces that I fuse either to make jewelry or in the bases of my drop ring vessels. You can see there's lots of different sizes and different designs that have been cut up from this last pull from our caldera kiln. There will be a video on pulling that shortly posted. So the next thing we need to do is clean up our tile saw. We've got a lot of mess around, and unless we clean up the motor and the pump, this saw will not last very long. So I'd like to thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and our posts on our blog on cutting larger Murrine on a wet tile saw. Our next post will be how to clean your tile saw after you've made this mess. It's really important that you keep your tools in working order so they last a long time. If you'd like further details on sources of supplies and tools, please go to my blog, and you will find those at www.alheilman.com. Appreciate your time, and thank you for stopping by.